All right. We're official.
Started. Are we live?
Yes, sir. I'm about to make you host right now. There you go.
Alrighty, let me pull up the agenda real quick. All right, so I hereby call this meeting to order. Let's go ahead and go through the agenda. Call to order in order of the day, followed by the pledges, and then executive reports. And then we are bringing back some old business with SA 001, Amendments to the Constitution of the Student Government Association. And then we will have new business. We will have 3 executive orders from Mr. President himself. And then we will have SB 012, followed by open forum, advisor comments, announcements, and then lastly, adjournment. All right, let's go ahead and do the pledge. Let me share this with y'all. Alrighty, everybody unmute yourself so I'm not doing this by myself. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the United Texas, one state under God,
one indivisible.
Right. Axe is up. I promise to strive for excellence in everything that I do, live by
responsibility, and integrity.
Thank you, guys. It sounds like a train wreck, but it's way less awkward that way. All right, now let's go ahead and move into executive reports. Mr. President, you can start us off with that.
Awesome. Could you also, it was weird, make me co-host, please? I just wanted to share my screen. All right. But hello, everybody. Thank y'all for coming out. I have a few reports that I would like to give to y'all. So the first one was recently there was the Board of Regents meeting. It went pretty well. If you want to see their agenda and what they discussed, you can watch it on their webpage. All you have to do was search on SFA Board of Regents, and that site should designate you through their information. Next, we have our SGA week coming up next Monday, and it's from Monday through Friday. Make sure you sign up through the link that Jessica put in the group me. Sign up, and if you don't want to sign up, make sure you at least come by the table. Make sure you say what's up, support us, as well as promote us through social media. So our next meeting, Senate meeting, y'all voted about 2 weeks ago, then I brought it to the e-board. So our next Senate meeting and the Senate meetings until the semester ends will be a hybrid format. So we will be moving forward on February 17th in person, or you can remain online. I'll make sure to send out an Office 365 forms to send out, and you will be able to state whether you want to be in person or remain online. This hybrid format will only apply to Senate meetings because our committee meetings will remain online for the entirety of the semester. So following February 17th, we will also have a position interest meeting for the upcoming spring elections. If you're interested in any of the board positions, you must attend the interest meeting on February 18th at 5:30 p.m. This will be virtual as well. We'll make sure to send you all more information about that. And the final thing that I would like to announce is our members of the week. So I'm going to share my screen. So, oh, Jesus, can y'all see me? All right, sure. All right, so these members really took their initiative, and they are always forthcoming. They are a great addition. They will continue to make sure that this organization runs. And we were excited to announce these members. And so let's give a drum roll for our members of the week. All right. Wait, okay. Wait. Jesus Christ. Okay. Y'all see it? Okay. Woo! All right. So congratulations, Carmen and Jessica. Y'all are our members of the week. Y'all can stop by the office and claim your backpack and hats, correct? Just backpacks. Okay. So yeah, just come by the office and claim your prize. Congratulations. Thank y'all for y'all's hard work. And let's continue making this semester great. That's all I have. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Chris. Moving on to Madam Vice President.
Justice, could you also make me a co-host? See if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. So this is the SGA budget right now. So as far as spending, we have about, in the programming budget, we have about $3,361 left, but we did have a significant amount left over from retreat because those were online retreats and we did plan for an in-person retreat. But, so basically we have about $3,343 left in that account, and we're going to go ahead and allocate that out. Some will go to the SGA programming budget. So right now you guys have 3,000, but it will increase. I'm also gonna post this on Teams snapshot JPEG tomorrow. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and start ordering the graduation stoles, and I'm gonna request that you guys put in your names by the end of this week. Some people came to me and said that they wanted their stoles earlier and graduation pics and everything's coming up. So I know the semester's just started, but it's gonna go by really fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ordered for you guys. So if you do want a graduation stole, please put your name down by the end of this week. It is where you signed up to get a t-shirt. And that's for if you graduate in May or in August. So if you graduate this summer, you can also get a graduation stole. Okay, so next in the meeting, I'm going to be presenting the Trader Jack's legislation. And then for you guys that don't know what Trader Jack's is, it's an event that I'm kind of hosting in which student entrepreneurs can promote themselves to the student body. So I think that'll be an event and be in person, and we're gonna make sure everything is COVID safe and provide mask and gloves and everything. So banquets is also going to come up at the end of the semester. So the plan is to have it April 21st. I'm going to remind you guys of this again. It's going to be from 6:30 to about 8:30. It's going to be a black and white formal. So, you know, we're going to dress up, but it's going to be on campus. It's going to be either in the Twilight Ballroom or in the Grand Ballroom. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Also, tomorrow I'm going to be meeting with with our advisors and Jenna in regards to the Meet Your Dean event. So we hope to give you guys updates on that. And soon I will be meeting with Dr. Gildry, Chris, Dr. Holly, and Dr. Gildry will be meeting to discuss improvements to academic advising. And those are all my announcements.
Alrighty, thank you. I'll go ahead and do mine. We do have 2 potential new members who will be joining us within the next few weeks. One of them will be interviewed by IA whenever we get the chance to get our schedules together. And then the other one has been in SGA before, and she was a really great senator. So I'm going to let her bypass IA, but the Senate will vote on her at the next Senate meeting that she is present for. I don't know if any of y'all know Brianna Timmons. I know Bree does. I know Chris does, and any older SGA members know her. Scarlett, Colin. So yeah, you guys will be asking her questions and voting on that at the next Senate meeting. Other than that, me and Chris have met and discussed some social ideas. So we will be having some socials in February. We're gonna aim for at least two, one in person, one online, so that it can be accessible to everyone, whether you're in NAC or not. And if we do an in-person social, we would love for you guys to take some time and maybe drive up here. If you're in Houston, it's 2 hours. Dallas is what, 3? Jada's not looking so sure about that. In other news, my laptop is in the laptop doctor's office because it is not functioning right now. So I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with assignments and emails and stuff, just trying to use my phone in the meantime. I'm going to try and make the most of this office computer, and I'm trying to stay on top of everything. Hopefully it's working out so far. I think that is it for my updates. So we'll move to Hayden, if you have anything for us.
No real updates, just a reminder for everyone that office hours are due this Sunday before 6 p.m. And y'all did a really good job last week with having everything in on time. So please continue doing that and expressing all your hard work. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Chief Justice, do you have anything for us?
The court has started our appeals meetings again. So if anybody is ever interested in seeing how those appeals work or how we appeal tickets, our decision making on that kind of stuff, feel free to message me and let me know, because people are always allowed to come and see those. They're at the last Friday of every month at 1 p.m. So if anybody's ever interested in that, just let me know. That's it for me.
Alrighty, thank you. That concludes the executive reports. I'll let the justices go. I already made breakout rooms. It's gonna happen. So, would y'all like the breakout room, or do you want me to just let y'all be dismissed?
Go ahead and kick us into a breakout room.
All right, I'm opening it right now.
All right.
All right, we are now moving into Old's business with SA 001, Amendment to the Constitution of the Student Government Association. We will have to read through the Constitution again, but this will be the last time. After this, we can pass it. So let me go ahead and share that legislation. And Senator Stevens, the floor is yours.
Alrighty, here we go. Amendment to the Constitution of Student Government Association. Written and submitted by Colin Stevens, Admin Affairs Committee Chair, through the Administrative Affairs Committee, presented by Colin Stevens, Administrative Affairs Committee Chair. Whereas the Student Government Association, SGA, follows the SFA way root principle of unity, whereas SGA is modeled after real government, whereas the SGA Constitution was created to provide a set of rules and regulations to give a clear understanding of how SGA runs, whereas the Constitution should be periodically updated to fix issues and keep SGA up to date, whereas the SGA Constitution has not been updated for several years, whereas a new updated 2020 version of the Constitution has been reviewed and supported by the Administrative Affairs Committee. Amended, SGA shall adopt the 2020 version of the Constitution, and all previous constitutions shall be null and void. Further amended, all references to the previous Constitution will refer to the updated 2020 Constitution. The Constitution of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association. Preamble. We, the students of Stephen F. Austin State University, in order to provide an officially recognized student government association that is a representative of the student body, to enhance the quality and scope of education at the university, represent the voice of the students of Stephen F. Austin State University in the community of Nacogdoches, provide for the general welfare of the student body, and offer recommendations to faculty of Stephen F. Austin State University for policy changes that benefit the well-being of the student body, hereby adopt this Constitution of the Student Government Association of SFA. Article 1, Organization. Section 1, Official Name. The name of this organization in the Student Government Association, the name of this organization is the Student Government Association, SGA, of Stephen F. Austin State University, SFASU. Section 2, jurisdiction. This organization will serve as the governmental body for the student body of SFASU. Section 3, branches. There are 3 branches of government within SGA: executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch. Section 4, advisor. The advisor of SGA will be the Dean of Student Affairs. Section 5, meetings. All SGA meetings shall be open to the public unless otherwise noted. Section B, observers shall not have speaking or voting rights within SGA meetings. Section C, if the regular day of a scheduled SGA meeting falls on a university recognized holiday or classes are not held on a particular day, SGA shall not meet on that day. Section 6, governing documents. The governing documents for the SGA of SFA are as follows: the Constitution of the SFA of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association, bylaws of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association, the election code of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association, and the official code of conduct of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association. Article 2, membership. Section 1, elections and appointments. SGA offers 2 types of memberships, elected and appointed. Section 2, membership limitations. Any elected or appointed member of SGA shall only hold membership within one branch of SGA at any given point. Section 3, requirements. In order to be elected or appointed as a member of SGA, candidates must have at least a 2.0 GPA. Members of SGA must maintain at least a 2.0 GPA during their tenure or will be referred to the Internal Affairs Committee. Students must be enrolled for a minimum of 6 semester credit hours as an undergraduate or 3 as a graduate student and must maintain those hours throughout the duration of their term. During their final semester, a member may complete less, as is required for the degree plan. Members must not be on disciplinary probation or be referred to the Internal Affairs Committee. Maintain a schedule of prompt and regular attendance to all SGA meetings and retreats. Article 3, legislative branch. Section 1, legislative authority. All legislative powers of the SGA of SFASU will be vested in the legislative branch as outlined in the bylaws. The legislative body of SGA will be known as the Senate. Section 2, officers of the Senate. The officers of the Senate are the Speaker of the Senate, the Sergeant at Arms, the Senate Secretary, and the committee chairs. Section 3, election and terms of office for officers of the Senate. Speaker of the Senate. A senator must have at least 1 long semester worth of experience in SGA prior to running for the office of Speaker. The Senate Speaker is elected with a majority vote by the Senate. The regularly scheduled election of the Speaker of the Senate will take place at the last regularly scheduled meeting of the spring semester. The new Speaker of the Senate will assume office at the spring banquet. Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms shall be appointed by the Speaker of the Senate with a majority vote by the Senate. Senate Secretary. The Senate Secretary shall be appointed by the Speaker of the Senate with a majority vote by the Senate. Committee chairs. All committee chairs shall be appointed by the Speaker of the Senate with a majority vote by the Senate. Officers elected in special elections or appointed to office will serve until the next regularly scheduled election or appointment for their respective office. Section 4, members of the Senate. There are 5 off-campus senatorial seats. Each class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, graduate, will receive 1 senatorial seat per 600 class members as of fall enrollment prior to elections. Academic colleges will receive 1 senatorial seat per 600 students enrolled in each respective college as of fall enrollment prior to elections. Each Greek Council, National Panhellenic, Multicultural Greek, and Interfraternal will receive 1 senatorial seat to represent their council, respectively, per 600 active members. Regardless of size, every class, college, and Greek council is guaranteed a minimum of 1 senatorial seat. Election and terms of office for members of the Senate. Academic college senators and off-campus senators. Academic college senators and off-campus senators will be elected in the general election of the spring semester. Class senators. Class senators will be elected in the general election of the fall semester. Greek council senators. Greek council senators will be elected at the discretion of their respective council during their normal executive elections. Senators elected will serve until the next regularly scheduled election for the respective office. Standing committees of the Senate. The standing committees of the Senate shall be the Student Affairs Committee, Academic Affairs Committee, Civil Affairs Committee, Public Relations Committee, Administrative Affairs Committee. Removal of senators and Senate officers. The Speaker of the Senate and senators can only be removed from office through the process of impeachment. In such cases, monetary compensation will be terminated upon final removal. The Sergeant at Arms may be removed from either impeachment or Speaker recall. In such case, their monetary compensation would be terminated upon final removal. The Senate Secretary may be removed from office either by impeachment or Speaker recall. In such case, their monetary compensation will be terminated upon final removal. A chairperson may be removed from office either by impeachment or Speaker recall. In such case, their monetary compensation will be terminated upon final removal. Any officer removed from office will be responsible for repayment of monetary compensation received in accordance with the contract. In the event a person is removed from their office by Speaker recall, such action will be limited to the office only and will not affect other SGA offices or seats held by that person. Filling vacant offices in the Senate. Every reasonable effort shall be made to keep all Senate seats filled at all times. Should the office of the Speaker become vacant, the Sergeant at Arms will assume that position, who will then appoint a new Sergeant at Arms from the Senate with a majority approval by the Senate. Should a committee chair of the Senate become vacant, the Speaker of the Senate will appoint a senator to the position with a majority vote by the Senate. Should a class, college, or off-campus senator position become vacant, the Speaker of the Senate will ask the Internal Affairs Committee to review applications for the position. The Internal Affairs Committee will vet candidates for the position and send them to the Senate with a majority vote. Once at the Senate, senators will be able to ask questions and vet the potential senators. The Senate will vote on the candidates and will be approved with a majority vote by the Senate. Should a Greek council senator seat become vacant, that respective council will appoint a new senator at their council's discretion. The executive branch, executive authority. All executive powers of the Student Government Association of SFASU will be vested in the executive branch as outlined in the bylaws. Officers of the executive branch, The officers of the executive branch are the student body president and student body vice president. Election and terms of office for the executive branch. Student body president. A member of SGA must have at least 2 long semesters worth of experience in SGA prior to running for the office of student body president. A student outside of SGA or an SGA member that has not been in SGA for 2 long semesters may run for student body president, but may only acquire votes through the process of write-in. The student body president will be elected by a majority vote of the registered students of the university voting in the spring semester general elections. The student body president will assume office during the SGA spring banquet. Student body vice president. A member of SFA must have at least 2 long semesters worth of experience in SGA prior to running for the office of student body vice president. A student outside of SGA or any SGA member that has not been in SGA for 2 long semester may run for student body vice president, but may only acquire votes through process of write-in. The student body vice president will be elected by majority vote of the registered students of the university voting in the spring semester general elections. The student body vice president will assume office during the SGA spring banquet process of write-in ballot. Officers elected will serve until the next regularly scheduled election or appointment for the respective office. Removal of executive officers. The president and vice president may only be removed from office through the process of impeachment. In such cases, their monetary compensation will be terminated upon final removal. Any officer removed from office will be responsible for repayment of monetary compensation received in accordance with their oath. In the event that no person shall seek the office of president or vice president, the Internal Affairs Committee shall offer nominations for the position of president to the Senate pending approval by 2/3 majority vote. The new president will appoint a new vice president. If at any time the presidential seat becomes vacant, the vice president will fill the seat left vacant. The new president will appoint a new vice president. If the vice president seat becomes vacant, the current president will appoint a new vice president. If both the president and vice president seat become vacant at a time other than elections, the speaker will become president. The new president will appoint a new vice president. The Senate will then appoint a new speaker by majority vote. Judicial branch, judicial authority. All judiciary powers of the SGA of SFASU will be vested in the judicial branch as outlined in the bylaws. The judicial body of SGA will be known as the Supreme Court. Officers of the Supreme Court. The officers of the Supreme Court are the Chief Justice and Deputy Chief Justice. Appointments and terms of office for officers of the Supreme Court. Chief Justice. In order to be appointed to the position of Chief Justice, a person must have at least one long semester of experience as an Associate Justice. The Chief Justice may be appointed by the student body president with a 2/3 vote by the Senate. The Chief Justice will serve, beginning with the fall semester, 2 consecutive long semesters. Deputy Chief Justice. The Deputy Chief Justice may be appointed by the student body president with a 2/3 vote by the Senate. The Deputy Chief Justice will serve, beginning with the fall semester, 2 consecutive long semesters. Section 4, appointments and terms of office for members of the Supreme Court. Associate Justice. There are 7 Associate Justice seats on the Supreme Court. Associate Justices may be appointed by the student body president with a 2/3 vote by the Senate. Associate Justices will serve, beginning with the fall semester, 2 consecutive long semesters. Removal of justices. The Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, and all Associate Justices may only be removed from office through the process of impeachment. The Chief Justice, if removed from office, will be responsible for repayment of monetary compensation in accordance with their oath. Filling vacant offices in the Supreme Court. Every reasonable effort should be made to keep all Supreme Court seats filled at all times. Should the office of Chief Justice become vacant, the student body president will appoint a new Chief Justice with a 2/3 approval from the Senate. Should the office of Deputy Chief Justice become vacant, the student body president will appoint a new Deputy Chief Justice with 2/3 approval from the Senate. Should an Associate Justice seat become vacant, the student body president will appoint a new Associate Justice with 2/3 approval from the Senate. Article 6, impeachment. Impeachable offenses. Any member of SGA can be impeached for the following offenses: improperly exceeding or abusing the powers of office, behavior that is incompatible with the function and purpose of the office, misusing the office for an improper purpose or for personal gain, failure to uphold the governing documents of SGA. Section 2, pre-impeachment proceedings. Any member of SGA may make a suggestion to launch impeachment proceedings by speaking to the Speaker of the Senate. The Speaker of the Senate, who is the head of the Internal Affairs Committee, will schedule a meeting time with the Internal Affairs Committee to discuss the allegations. The Internal Affairs Committee will discuss with the accused and determine whether to continue with the articles of impeachment. If the Speaker of the Senate is accused of misconduct, the Sergeant at Arms will head the Internal Affairs Committee until the process is completed. If a majority of the Internal Affairs Committee votes to send articles of impeachment to the Senate, the Speaker of the Senate will draft articles of impeachment and present them to the Senate. If the Speaker of the Senate is accused of misconduct and found to have committed an infraction by the Internal Affairs Committee, the Sergeant at Arms will draft the articles of impeachment and present them to the Senate. Impeachment proceedings. Articles of impeachment take precedence in an SGA Senate meeting. Impeachment proceedings require a closed meeting and votes by secret ballot. After bringing articles of impeachment to the Senate, they will be read by the Administrative Affairs Committee chairperson. The accused will have a chance to speak on their behalf. The accused will step out of the courtroom and the Senate will deliberate. A member of SGA is considered impeached with a majority vote by the Senate. Section 4, post-impeachment proceedings for executive and legislative members and officers. If impeached, an executive or legislative member will be sent to the Supreme Court for a conviction trial. The justices will convene and set a date and time for a trial to take place. At this time, they will also set any necessary parameters specific to the case. The Chief and Deputy Chief Justice will distribute the parameters of the case to the student body president, Vice President, Speaker of the Senate, Senate Secretary, and Advisor for documentation. Any and all information for and against the member on trial must be sent to the Chief Justice at least 24 hours before the trial. Those wishing to speak at the trial must contact the Chief Justice at least 24 hours before the trial. Any late information can be accepted at the discretion of the Chief Justice. Section 5, post-impeachment proceedings for judicial members and officers. If impeached, a judicial member will be sent to the Executive Committee for a conviction trial. The Executive Committee will convene and set a date and time for a trial to take place. At this time, they will also set any necessary parameters specific to the case. The student body vice president will distribute the parameters of the case to the Chief Justice, Speaker of the Senate, and advisor for documentation. Any and all information for and against the member on trial must be sent to the student body vice president at least 24 hours before the trial. Those wishing to speak at the trial must contact the student body vice president at least 12 hours before the trial. Any late information can be accepted at the discretion of the Chief Justice. Impeachment trial for executive and legislative members and officers. All trials will be recorded. A conviction of a member of a SGA requires a 2/3 vote. The Supreme Court will hear all arguments for and against the member on trial. After hearing all arguments, the Supreme Court will deliberate and each give written statements. The Supreme Court will hold a final vote on the conviction of the SGA member. The final result, as well as all opinions of the court, will be distributed to the student body president, student body vice president, Speaker of the Senate, Senate Secretary, and advisor for documentation within 24 hours of the trial. The final result must be distributed to the members of SGA within 48 hours of the trial. Impeachment trial for judicial members and officers. All trials will be recorded. A conviction of a member in SGA requires 2/3 vote. The Executive Committee will hear all arguments for and against the member on trial. After hearing all arguments, the Executive Committee will deliberate and each give written statements. The Executive Committee will hold a final vote on the conviction of the SGA member. The final result, as well as all opinions of the court, will be distributed to the Deputy Chief Justice and the Sergeant at Arms for documentation within 24 hours of the trial. The final result may be distributed to members of SGA within 48 hours of the trial. Article 7, amendments to governing documents. I yield the floor to Justice.
Alrighty. Amendments to governing documents. Section 1, authority to make amendments to governing documents. Any senator in good standing in the Senate can propose one or more amendments to these governing documents at any time, as long as it is sponsored by at least 25% of the Senate. The Administrative Affairs Committee can propose one or more amendments to these governing documents with majority vote in the committee, as long as it is sponsored by 10% of the Senate. Any student of SFA may propose amendments to these governing documents, but must submit a supporting petition that has been signed by a minimum of 10% of the student body. Section 2, authority to call a convention to redraft governing documents. A convention to redraft governing documents can be called with 3/4 vote by the Senate. Any student of SFA may call a convention to redraft governing documents, but must submit a supporting petition that has been signed by a minimum of 20% of the student body. Section 3, process of amendments. After originating in the Senate, a proposed amendment must pass the Senate with a 2/3 vote of the Senate. All proposed amendments must be read at least 2 times. If passed by the Senate, the amendment moves on to the student body president, who can pass or veto the amendment. If vetoed by the student body president, a 3/4 vote of the Senate can override the veto. Section 4, process of redrafting governing documents. After being passed by the Senate, the Speaker of the Senate may select a group of no less than 6 senators to work on redrafting the governing documents. The Speaker of the Senate will head the committee to redraft the governing documents. After being edited, the new governing documents will follow the process of amendments. Section 5, reviewing governing documents. Every member of SGA must have a working knowledge of all rules, regulations, and stipulations in the governing documents. The Administrative Affairs Committee must review all the governing documents at least one time per semester. Section 6, corrections to governing documents. At any time, the Administrative Affairs Committee shall have the power to make changes necessary in any governing document to correct errors in only the following: capitalization, definitions, including adding more or improving existing definitions, formatting, grammar, language, numbering, punctuation, spelling, titles, and any minor changes or corrections as long as they do not change the meanings or intentions of any parts of the governing documents to which they are made. Any and all corrections to governing documents must be presented to the Senate at the next SGA meeting, and the Senate shall have an opportunity to overturn the correction with the majority vote. Section 7, effective date of amendments and corrections. Once any proposed amendment has been approved by the student body president, it shall immediately become operative and shall immediately be incorporated into the governing documents. If approved by the Senate, all corrections of errors will immediately become operative and shall immediately become incorporated into the governing documents. Article 8, Legal Authority. Section 1, Legal Limitations. This Constitution shall be subject to the laws of the United States of America, the state of Texas, the city and county of Nacogdoches, and the policies and rulings of the administration of Stephen F. Austin State University. Section 2, Organizational Oversight. Any legislative, executive, or judicial action or duty which is not in compliance with this Constitution shall be considered invalid. The Student Supreme Court shall have jurisdiction over the actions of duties of the executive and legislative branches of this SGA. The Office of the Dean of Student Affairs shall have jurisdiction over the actions and duties of the judiciary of SGA. Section 3, Member Compliance. All members of the SGA of SFASU shall be bound by oath to comply with and enforce all governing documents and all legislation passed in compliance thereof. Article 9, the powers and rights of the student body. Section 1, right to be free of discrimination. The Student Government Association shall not discriminate against nor give preferential treatment to any person on the basis of race, color, national or ethnic origin, religion, sex, gender, disability, age, sexual orientation, nor veteran status, and shall prohibit discrimination based on these factors in any and all forms. The section shall not be construed to prohibit acts of prayer or invocations during meetings of SGA entities, nor shall it be construed to restrict in any way the content of official or unofficial communications from members of the SGA. Section 2, right to vote. The right to vote, to participate in petitions, referendums, or recalls shall extend to any student and shall not be infringed on any other basis. Struggling to speak here. Section 3, right to fair process of law. The liberty, rights, and privileges of any student shall not be deprived except by fair process of law. Each student shall have equal protection of the statutes, but such equal protection of groupings of students shall only be deemed unconstitutional if arbitrary and capricious. Section 4, right to be free of excessive punishments or fines. Excessive punishments or fines shall not be imposed under the statutes, under the rules or procedures, or by judicial court, nor shall any student be put in jeopardy of adjudication of his rights in a case before the judicial court twice for the same offense, nor shall any student be compelled to be a witness against himself or herself in a case before the judicial court. Section 5, right to a speedy and public trial. In all cases before the judicial court, all students shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial on the SFASU campus in an announced proceeding with at least 72 hours notice, the right to cross-examine witnesses brought against them, the right to be informed of the nature and cause of any accusation, the right to assistance of counsel of their choosing, whether a licensed attorney in the state of Texas or not, and the right to compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in their favor insofar as such process can reasonably be provided for by the power of the Student Government Association. The judicial court may issue a writ of injunction in accordance with the statutes for a period not to exceed 30 days through a hearing with at least 24 hours notice to the party against whom the writ is to be issued. Section 6. The limitations of this article during discretionary or disciplinary decisions. The provisions of this article, other than those addressing petitions, shall not be construed by the judicial court to limit the Senate's power to move into session, power of impeachment, power to remove officers of the Senate, power to discipline senators or other members of the legislative branch, or the student body's power to recall any senator. Article 10, ratification of the Constitution of the Stephen F. Austin State University Student Government Association. Section 1, null and void. All previous SGA constitutions are null and void. Section 2, officials under the new Constitution. All officials elected or appointed under the requirements of the previous Constitution, which this Constitution supersedes, shall remain in their corresponding offices and exercise their corresponding duties and responsibilities as set forth in this Constitution, as well as the other governing documents until their terms of office expire. Section 3, ratification. This Constitution stands approved by the Senate of the Student Government Association as of, if we pass it, the day will go there, and shall be effective upon the signature and endorsement of the Speaker of the Senate, the President of the student body, and Dean of the Office of Student Affairs. The end. Colin, do you have anything that you want to say about this before I open the floor?
I guess the biggest thing was we had a lot of issues in the previous Constitution, and this was our attempt to try to rectify a lot of those issues that had come up in the past couple of years. Yeah, I think that should be everything.
Alrighty, thank you. I now open the floor to questions, pros, and cons. Yes, Mr. President.
Pro, I'd just like to commend the both of y'all for reading through that and for everyone for keeping up to it.
Any more questions, pros, or cons?
Pro, I'm happy and excited that we're updating this so we can make sure that we keep up with the times, because there in no way would the excuse me, the Constitution that would have been written 10 years ago, 15 years ago, would have even been able to match with what we have going on now. So the updating is necessary.
Yes, Senator Alexander.
Okay, I have a question about the Greek council senator. Like, could you explain that part?
Right. So each of the Greek councils on campus, they get to elect a member to represent them to the student body of the student to the Senate. So weren't you, Chris, weren't you a...
Point of information, I was the Greek senator for last year, and I was appointed, or not appointed, but I had Seville Harris, who was over Greek Council, and he wrote a letter to SGA and as basically like a recommendation, and they went through that process, and that's how I became the Greek senator for SGA.
All right, do we have any more questions, pros, or cons? All right, seeing none, we will move to vote. Go ahead and type yes, no, or abstain in the chat. All right, the ruling of the chair is that the yeses have it, and this amendment passes. Congratulations. Now with that passed, we can make tiny changes that don't like change the wording of the Constitution, so we don't have to read it all the way through again to make like little editing errors or fix those. All right, moving on, we will start off with some new business. We have our first executive order, EO 0001, Student Government Action to further our town hall agenda with inclusivity. So let me go ahead and share that. Where do I have it at? It's one of these things. All right, can y'all see it? All right, Chris, the floor is yours.
All right. May I have a minute after? So, student government action to further our town hall agenda with inclusivity. By the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution and bylaws of Stephen F. Austin State University, SFA, Student Government Association, and consistent with Title II, Article 1, Section 1, Clause 7 of the bylaws, I hereby order the following. Section 1, whereas the Student Government Association of Stephen F. Austin State University was established to be the voice of the student body. It's imperative to have a transparent relationship between administration, faculty, staff, and students. The upcoming town halls will introduce members from the University Police Department, Office of the President, and Counseling/Health Services. This will provide our constituents the necessary information regarding campus safety, campus operations, and campus wellness. Section 2, action. Sub A. The Student Government Association will host 3 consecutive town halls starting on February 16th, February 23rd, and March 2nd at 4 p.m. Sub B. The Student Government Association shall present a Microsoft 365 form to allow students to ask questions anonymously throughout the questionnaire. Sub C. The Student Government Association shall attend all 3 town halls as student representatives. Sub D. The town halls taking place on February 16th and March 2nd are mandatory. Are there any questions? No questions? Yeah, so this is really
Question, why is the February 23rd town hall not mandatory and the other 2 are?
So the February 23rd town hall, that's the one with campus operations. It is optional if you want to attend, but on February 23rd, there will be a Black History Month program presented with the OMA. That will also be one of the executive orders, but there will be a program on February 23rd, and that's why the town hall will not be mandatory.
Yes, Senator Alexander.
Question, what if we have classes during that time?
If you have classes during that time, make sure you personally message me or let me know, through GroupMe, text message, but let me know for sure.
Yes, Senator Stevens.
Later on, as we get closer to these meetings, will there be Zoom information sent out, or is this not accessible to those that are not physically in Nacogdoches?
Yeah, so are you talking about the town halls, correct? Yeah, so these town halls will be exclusively online. I want to make sure I'm trying to partner or trying to get in contact with disability services to get an interpreter. So we will make sure, yes. So we'll make sure to try to include everyone, but this will be online, so everyone can access it.
Yes, Senator Martinez.
If we have something, let's say that starts later on, maybe closer to the end of it, do we have to stay for the whole thing, or are we allowed to leave for like another meeting during that time?
Of course, like as long as you're there for a certain period of time, that's all right. If you have another obligation to go to, that's completely fine. But I'm key on communication, so just let me know. Hey, I got to go to another meeting, or hey, I got to take a test, do homework. Just let me know that.
All right, so this is not something that we vote on once we run out of questions. This is an executive order. So it is a done deal. The Senate has no say in it being passed. The Senate can veto it if y'all really wanted to. And I'm not saying that y'all should do it, but I'm just letting you know that it is an option for executive orders like this. So someone would say, I would like to make a motion to veto. Someone would second that, and then the Senate would vote on whether or not to veto the executive order. I think it needs 2/3 vote for a veto. Yeah, I'm just saying that that's a possibility, but for right now, that's it. So unless I'm going to give someone a few seconds to make a motion to veto if they really want to, but probably don't. All right. Also, before I move on, were there any more questions about this first executive order? All right, seeing none, we will move on to the second executive order, EO 0002, Student Government Action regarding the Black History Month program with the Office of Multicultural Affairs, OMA. Let me, oh no, I can't see because the chat's blocking it. Give me 1 second. All right, can y'all see that second executive order? I need a verbal yes. I can't see y'all right now.
Yes.
All right, sweet.
Mr. Speaker, may I have a minute after?
Yes, sir.
I forgot to use my minute the last time, but I will use it this time. Student Government Action regarding the Black History Month program with the Office of Multicultural Affairs, OMA. By the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution and bylaws of Stephen F. Austin State University, SFA, Student Government Association, and consistent with Title II, Article 1, Section 1, Clause 7 of the bylaws, I hereby order the following. Section 1, whereas. The Student Government Association of Stephen F. Austin State University was established to be the voice of the student body. It's our responsibility to create an inclusive environment that thrives to educate and support our community. Black History Month is a nationwide celebration that cultivates achievement and values the significant role of African Americans played throughout history. It's a culmination of recognition, cultural appreciation, and successful endeavors. The SFA's Office of Multicultural Affairs, OMA, strives to create an inclusive atmosphere for all cultures on campus. Normally, the OMA has an annual event that brings awareness to this historic month. This year, the Student Government Association has an opportunity to be involved with this year's program. This program will be held in the Student Center's Grand Ballroom on February 23rd, 2021 at 6 p.m., ending at 8 p.m. This program will include a variety of performances, speakers, and presentations that uplift and celebrate our Black community on campus. Section 2, Action, Sub A. The Student Government Association shall help promote this event through its various social media platforms and will table on February 10th and 17th. Sub B, the Student Government Association shall use this opportunity as a way to show support and appreciate our Black community on campus. Sub C, the Student Government Association has an option of receiving 15 points for those who attend the full event. So I met with Veronica Beavers and Jalen Berry and the OMA, and back in the earlier days in December, and we were discussing this program to its entirety. And I really wanted SGA to be a part of this program. One, because it means a lot to me, being president, but also being African American. I really want to show that representation, and I would love for SGA to show that representation as well. For the dates that we are tabling, is not mandatory. Everybody doesn't have to table, but I will make sure to send y'all the date, the times, the specific times that the OMA will be presenting for that, so we can all table together.
All right, I now open the floor to questions, pros and cons. Yes, Madam Vice President.
Question. Is there a dress code for this event?
Yes, so there actually is a dress code. There's a flyer that the OMA put out this week, and on the flyer it states that it's business casual. So if you do attend the event, you dress business casual. Again, it's in the grand ballroom. If not, there will be a virtual option, and I will send that link for y'all to join the virtual option later this week.
I just have something to say real quick, Justice, if that's okay.
Yes, Sergeant at Arms.
For one, this is a really good thing. I'm really glad that we're able to, be a part of this. Chris, it was a great idea. And also, since it's business casual, this is a perfect opportunity for y'all to show off your polos. So if you want to go in person, definitely try to rep us.
Any more questions, pros or cons? Any vetoes? I'm just kidding. All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to the third and final executive order for this evening. Student government action to enforce dress code for Senate meetings. Exciting. Give me just 1 second. All righty, Chris, the floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, may I have a minute after?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Student government action to enforce a dress code for Senate meetings. By the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution and the bylaws of Stephen F. Austin State University, SFA, Student Government Association, and consistent with Title II, Article 1, Section 1, Clause 7 of the bylaws, I hereby order the following. Section 1, whereas. The Student Government Association of Stephen F. Austin State University was established to be the voice of the student body. We hold this responsibility of dressing in a professional manner as visual representation of being a student leader and properly representing our organization. Our Senate meetings will be recorded and uploaded to our website and social media platforms. This transition will seek current viewers across the board who may be interested in our parliamentary procedures. As an image-based organization, it's our duty to showcase a matter of efficiency. Dressing up can create a sense of being proactive, self-discipline, and willingness to commit. Section 2, action. Starting on February 17th, 2021, the Student Government Association shall dress in a business casual attire for the remainder of our Senate meetings. Sub B, the student body vice president shall preside over the dress code and enforce it to an extent. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as we know, we transitioned from a in-person organization to an online organization very quickly. And we tried to lax on the dress code. One, because, it's more comforting to be in your home dressed in a shirt, whatever you do. But now since we're transitioning into a hybrid format where our meetings will be in person as well as online, we're gonna bring this dress code back. It's also stated in our governing documents, if you want to go back and look in the bylaws under Article 2, Section 1, Sub F, we are required to dress up for Senate meetings only. And it's stated that failure to comply can result in nullifying ladder points as well as attendance points. So, yes.
All righty, and now open the floor to questions, pros or cons. Yes, Senator Stevens.
Speaking for those that will be online, from what I consider as being business casual is a decent shirt or a decent top and decent bottoms. So that it's kind of hard to explain. So if a person was to go in face to face for a meeting and you were able to see the entire ensemble, it may be considered business casual. But if for those of us that are only online and you're only able to see the top, are you expecting us to have dressier tops or still go with like the business casual type?
No, that's a great question. To answer that, I don't want y'all to dress all the way top down to bottom for the ones that are online. It doesn't make sense because again, we are not able to see the bottom half. So I would like just for the top half to be presentable as, that's the only part that we are able to see. But for the people that are coming in person, this will need to be top to bottom. Did that not answer your question? It did? Okay.
Oh, yes, Senator Villa.
I have a pro. I think that it's a good idea that we're implementing this again because, again, we are an organization that was used to meeting in person, and this was a requirement beforehand. So now that we're going back to hybrid, it is nice that we're going back to what we're used to. And I think it's a really good idea because we are an SGA and we have to present a certain image.
Yes, Senator Akin Uliola. I tried.
Please, I have a question as regards the dress code. What I'm wearing, are you going to consider this as a business casual? That's my question. Do you consider what I'm wearing as a business casual?
Are you wearing a jacket?
Yeah, like a pullover.
So if you just have like a, regular button down, is it a blouse? I don't know the correct terminology.
Yeah.
So a blouse.
Female wears are really, you can just wear something and it looks really like official, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the guys just need to wear shirt or stuff like that. But women, you just, whatever you wear can be termed as official.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. But not orange, because our rivals are Sam Houston and they wear orange. And so I believe in the past, if you wore orange, we were liable to burn that shirt or article of clothing. I'm not going to do that, but somebody else might. I'm kidding. But yeah, so no orange, just something nice, professional.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Are there any more questions, pros or cons? By the way, Jessica and Io, y'all both have your hands still raised. I don't know if that's for a second time or. Okay. Yes, Madam Vice President.
Just to respond to some of the comments I see in the chat. Yes, you can wear your SGA polo if you, don't have anything else. Or even if you do have anything else, you can wear your SGA polo and it count as business casual. Since I am kind of the judge on the dress code and attendance, I think sweaters, blouses, just something nice, not a t-shirt, not like a baggy shirt or something like that, will suffice for business casual for the online people. And then when we meet in person, we can, I'm sure you guys will dress nice, so I'm not gonna have to be super specific, but like maybe no slides, in person, of course. And if you do wear your polos in person, you can wear jeans with that. Yeah.
Yes, Senator Boykin, do you have a question?
If we don't fit into our SGA polos anymore, do y'all have any more sizes?
So we do have more sizes. I believe they're in the larger area. I can double check for you, but we do have more sizes, yes.
All right, Senator Alexander.
Question. So if we're not wearing the SGA polo shirt, and we're wearing like a top like this or something, we cannot wear pants with the top?
Let's just say dress like you're going to an interview. If you would wear a certain jacket, if you wouldn't wear, a baggy shirt to an interview, dress like you're going to an interview. That's the best way I can explain it.
All right, are there any more questions, pros or cons? All right, seeing none, we will move on to SB 012, Bill to allocate funds for LGBTQ+ Equality Caucus anti-Valentine's Day event. Let me find where that share screen is. Right there. Alrighty, Jackie, the floor is yours.
Okay. Bill to allocate funds for LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus anti-Valentine's Day event. Written and submitted by Jacqueline Martinez, freshman class senator through the Student Affairs Committee. Presented by Jacqueline Martinez, freshman class senator. Whereas Student Government Association, SGA, follows the SFA Way Root principles of caring, responsibility, and unity. Whereas SGA has a responsibility to aid other organizations, host events, and spread the word about their organizations. Whereas SGA helps unify the students at Stephen F. Austin State University, SFA, SU, and the Nacogdoches community by raising awareness about all organizations. Whereas SGA has the responsibility to care for all organizations on campus and help in any way possible. Enacted, SGA will allocate $80 in order to help the LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus host this event. Further enacted, COVID-19 precautions like social distancing and masks will be required at the LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus anti-Valentine's Day drag show. Further enacted, the LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus will be hosting an anti-Valentine's Day drag show for SFA SU students and the Nacogdoches community on Friday, February 12th of 2021. Further enacted, any remaining funds will be returned to the SGA budget.
All right, would you like a minute to speak?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
So by doing this, we're kind of giving students at Stephen F. Austin and just maybe the Nacogdoches community a safe space to express themselves. And as a smaller group, the LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus needed some help with payments to reserve the theater to have a large enough space to host this event with proper COVID-19 precautions involved. And, SGA really helps out with stuff like that and brings together the community of Nacogdoches by helping host events like this, or just aiding and hosting events like this. It is something that gives students and other people a safe space to kind of just be who they are without any type of judgment. And this event is open to students and anyone in Nacogdoches who's able to attend. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, I now open the floor to questions, pros, and cons. Yes, Mr. President.
Pro, I really like this piece of legislation. Whenever Bree and I were running for student body president and vice president, we actually put on our platforms that we wanted to be more inclusive for all of the different caucuses that we have on campus. And of course, the LGBTQ plus caucus was on there. So anything that we can help further y'all's agenda, help y'all any monetary way, we're all game for it.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Question. So how do I say this? Will you only need $80 for the event, or do you have other sponsors contributing to the drag show? Or yeah.
So we got the invoice back from the reservations, and it said 75 was going to be our total, and that's all we would need. So we did 80 just to double do it, or just to make sure. But other than that, they have the rest covered. All the drag queens are going to be either students who are doing it first or semi-professionals who volunteer their time to come and perform because they want more experience or whatever. And we also it's like a contest, so there's also going to be 2 prizes which have already been bought and paid for with the caucus budget.
Yes, Senator Couch.
Bro, the LGBTQ plus caucus here, they're a bunch of great people. I know a lot of them, and they're fantastic. And I do watch RuPaul's Drag Race in my free time, and I love it. It's entertaining. I don't know if we did this last year, but I didn't know about it, and I just started watching RuPaul this past month, all the way through season 10, and I hope a lot of people in SGA goes as well. But yeah, Pro, I think it's a fantastic idea and very entertaining.
I think someone else had their hand raised. Was it Senator Stevens?
Yes, but Madam Vice President, she kind of touched on it already. But another question did pop up. Does SGA have any other parts in their show, or are we just the funders or part funders?
It's just this. We kind of have everything planned out. There really wasn't too much to do other than just getting people to sign up. I can always go back and ask Ashton if they needed help with anything else, but as of right now, it's just this.
So, as just a comment, it might be beneficial, and I don't know if SGA is allowed to do so, since technically it's not our event. But if it is allowed, I love the idea. I wish, honestly, I checked my schedule and tried to get down there for it, but it just didn't fit. But I would love if we were able to promote on our social medias, because outside of the caucus being a smaller organization, it really is a way, like you said, to offer up a safe space for those who might not think that they have it, or is a little bit harder to find in East Texas.
Point of information. So Chris and I were asked to be judges for the event. Two, as far as retweeting it on our social media pages, that could be easily done, and we will be able, once we see the flyer, we'll be able to share that on all of our platforms.
I will send that flyer to you, Bree. We have it in our eDrive, so I can send it to y'all.
I see that our secretary has her hand raised, but I cannot call on you because you do not have speaking rights. I'm so sorry. I feel bad, but all right. Are there any more questions, pros, or cons? All right. Seeing none, we will move to vote. Go ahead and type yes, no, or abstain in the chat. Not Ella threatening me in the e-board group chat. All right. The ruling of the chair is that the yeses have it, and this bill is passed. Congratulations. Great bill. Not that I can have an opinion on it officially. All right. So that concludes our new business for today, but I know we do have something for open forum, which is right up next. Are you guys still prepared for that? Walter, Jenna, you want me to go ahead and share that? All right.
Okay.
Let's share. Alrighty, the floor is yours. This is SB 013. Walter, you can go ahead.
I think he's frozen.
Is he frozen? Can y'all see the legislation?
Government Association, SGA, follows the SFA way root principle of caring and responsibility, whereas college students tend to struggle with time management in their daily lives. Whereas COVID-19 has increased the need for good time management skills. Whereas SGA has the responsibility to enlighten the student body about the ability to manage their time during the current spring semester of 2021 and any further semesters, whereas SGA also has the responsibility to explain how managing time will not only help students keep track of their studies, but also help ease their stress. Enacted SGA shall hand out infographics about the time management and how to manage the students' time. Further enacted, SGA shall hand out infographics and pocket planners by Surf and Steve on Thursday, February 11th, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Further enacted, SGA shall allocate a total of 150 to purchase pocket planners to hand out at the table. Further enacted, all unused funds shall be returned to SGA budget. Can I have extra minute?
Yes, sir.
So for the pocket planners, we have a spreadsheet to show the prices of 3 places where we can get the pocket planners. And hold on, let me. Okay, so
I'm so sorry. I
one.
forgot to share the second part of y'all's
Okay.
thing. Give me a second. I will try and zoom into that. Where did it go? Technical difficulties, y'all. All right. All right, go ahead, Walter.
Okay, so this is the infographic that we have. Jenna helped me make it along with Carmen. And as you can see, we have the benefits, which include some of the benefits of time management, less stress, more free time, getting organizational skills, and ensures work is turned in on time, academic improvement, and more. And the planners are a good way to help with time management. You can purchase these at most bookstores, or there are apps on your phone, such as the calendar app or Microsoft Outlook. Also, you should make a list to help keep track of things in your daily life. When you finish a task, you can just check it off, or so you know you accomplished something. There are some tips to help you with managing your time, like setting goals, priorities, prioritizing correctly, setting time limits, organize breaks, and staying focused so you can delegate those tasks. In the real world, time management is a great skill to have for your future career. Businesses look for people with their skills on their resumes because they know that you're an efficient worker.
All right, was that all? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Um, did I mention the spreadsheet for the pocket planners?
I don't think I received that. I got the legislation and then the infographic itself.
Is it
If you
not
have it and you want to share it, I can.
on
Whoever.
the legislation? If you scroll down, it should be on the next page.
Oh, was it? Okay, my bad.
Oh.
All right.
So yeah, these are like 3 websites where we can get the pocket planners, and these are like the prices for like how many we can get. So yeah. That's all I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I yield my time to Jenna.
I just wanted to make some comments. Allie looked into this last night. There was some issues just finding planners that were, in like a good price range. Obviously, we aren't going to buy ones that are more than the 150. That was just kind of showing how much for different quantities and stuff. But I guess I was gonna ask if we can buy from these sites because I am just looking at that actually.
Point of information. So basically, you will have to talk to Miss Olivia. These are, I know we can work with 4 imprints because I'm looking at that for portfolios, but she would have to contact these vendors and see if they can do tax-free, or tax exemption. Also, looking at your timetable, I would probably try to look for it on Amazon since you are trying to do it next week, unless you wanted to push it back.
Yes, that was another thing I was about to say. I was going to ask Walter if he was up for amending it because I think we're going to need to push the date back if we do use these vendors.
Let me first open the floor to questions, pros, and cons, and then we can communicate a little freer. So it's officially open. Go for it. Yes, Mr. President.
I have a pro and also a point of information. So for my pro, I think this is a really good idea to inform the student body about time management. Even though, it's stated probably throughout SFA 101 and orientation and the good stuff like that, it's always good to have allow students to have a refresher. And also, this could be coming up for any tests, any quizzes, any schoolwork, work, finals approaching, midterms approaching, I'm sorry. So I think this is a really good idea. Point of information on the infographic, I believe the top one, I think, would you change ensure with the I to ensure with the E? If I saw it correctly. So change that I to an E. Is that acceptable?
Point of information. So I'm pretty sure you guys can change the flyer at any time. This is just extra information. But if he was talking about the legislation, you guys can say friendly amendment and be like, is it accepted? This, that, and third.
I also have a point of information about the planners. Allie told me that for Amazon, the reason we didn't look into that was because they don't sell in bulk, and we were trying to get a large amount of it. Yeah, I think you muted yourself.
Point of information. Actually, question: how much was the budget for this?
$150.
Okay. I think I know that you can do for 4 imprints because I asked Miss Livia, and I know that's a vendor we can use. I'm not sure about the other 3. I'm not sure when you're gonna get the planners. So
Allie also did have the shipping dates for that.
Yes, Senator Stevens.
So I'm not. It's more of a comment slash con, because of the date that you all have it on. That is during our SGA week, and that's also really close to Valentine's Day. I mean, that's the day, right? like the day that we're on campus before the weekend. So there are going to be so many tabling events happening. There are going to be so many people selling. And it's not to say, I mean, we're not selling anything. It is something that we're giving out, but it will really be a lot of things going on. So depending on where you're setting up and what all is happening, y'all might not just get as much traffic as y'all want to, because people are going to think that you guys are just selling another thing and they're like, oh, I don't have any money. So if I would suggest that you guys push it back to the following week at least. So you guys will get more attention while y'all are tabling wherever you are. And so y'all are able to have more time to be able to really order where y'all want to order from. So you're not rushing on the dates and all that.
Yes, Mr. President.
Question, was that point of information accepted for changing the I to a E?
For clarification, that doesn't have to be like accepted as a friendly amendment. Only changes to the legislation itself need to be amended. Yeah, the flyer can be changed at any time. Yes, Madam Vice President.
Point of information. A better course of action right now, since you guys are not using Amazon, I was in the meeting when you guys were discussing that. I know we can order stuff off of Amazon with SGA. Since you guys are not using that, I would suggest you go talk to Miss Livia about other vendors you can use. There might be somebody cheaper than 4Print. And then with that being said, I can't motion to table a piece of legislation, but yeah.
Point of information. What Madam Vice President is trying to do is entertain a motion to table this piece of legislation. Yes, Senator Martinez.
Motion to table this legislation.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to table this legislation. Is there a second?
Second.
It is seconded by Senator Stevens. She had her hand raised. All right. All in favor of tabling this legislation, it will go back to the committee. It can be brought up again as old business in future meetings. Type yes, no, or abstain in the chat. All right, the ruling of the chair is that the yeses have it and this bill is tabled. So it will be brought up hopefully at a future meeting. Thank you guys for presenting. Y'all did a great job. And does that conclude our open forum? Does anybody else have anything that they wish to bring to us? All right, seeing nothing, we will go ahead and move on to advisor comments. Dr. Harley Smith, the floor is now yours.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that you were sent an email, and there'll be a reminder email to all students to complete an athletics attendance survey where, as you may know, we are moving to the WAC conference. And so the WAC conference compared to the Southland conference is bigger. And so we want to increase our student participation in athletic events. And so we would love your feedback on how to do that. So please fill that out. You have a chance to win some great prizes. And I want to thank you in advance for the SGA representatives that will be at the athletic attendance focus group tomorrow. So thank y'all in advance for that. And I will see you there. That's all the advisor comments I have for now. Amanda, did you have anything that you wanted to add as the graduate advisor? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you guys for being here with us. So that concludes the advisor comments. We will now move to announcements. If anybody has anything they want to share. It is currently Wester's birthday and Mina's birthday, correct? Correct. Happy birthday to you guys. Also, shout out to Wester for helping me move last weekend. He helped me, him and one of his friends came and helped me move some furniture into a house that I'm sharing with Scarlett.
Anytime.
Very appreciative. I could not have done it myself, and I do actually have 2 tools that I need to return to you. I'll leave them in the SGA office sometime this week. I don't have any other announcements though.
So I have an announcement. I dropped off the hats to get stitched. So we're gonna have new SGA hats soon. So also I'm going to be uploading the leader jack points probably Friday, and I'm gonna make sure to include everybody that presented this week. And also, even if you wrote and present, it doesn't matter if it was passed, tabled, or declined, you still get those points. And me and Hayden are meeting tomorrow to design the apparel, because actually a lot of you guys are getting close to the pullover and rain jacket points. And yeah, I'm excited.
All right, are there any more announcements? Anybody want to share something that's happening in another organization or anything? An event you're excited about?
I have a question.
Yes, Urume?
How does SGA partner with the big event on the big event? Do we have any collaborations, or what do we do? I know that.
Are you asking about? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is just to add to that, because I know that the big event is calling on like other arms to kind of sign off for that day's activity. So I don't know how we've been doing it in the past at the SGA. How we partner with them or not?
Yeah, so we usually write a resolution to participate in the big event. And then whoever writes that legislation will be responsible for creating the team and then having everybody in SGA sign up to be part of that team to participate on the day of the big event. And that will be passed through the Civil Affairs Committee. It doesn't have to be a Civil Affairs person to write it, but the Civil Affairs Committee does need to have it seen during their committee meeting for it to be legitimate.
Point of information, I did stop by that table today as well, and they limited to 5 people volunteering in a single place, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, so just to add to what the Vice President just said, if you're signing up individually, because of COVID, you have to go in groups of 5. So you can ask your friends, and then you all can sign up together and make up a 5-member group. Or if you don't have anybody, and then it's just you can as well just sign up, and then you'll be added to a group.
Yeah, we could probably definitely do like 2 groups of 5 or something. 3 groups of 5, depending on however many people want to do it. Well, Senator Alexander, did you have an announcement?
So I don't know if y'all hear me. My internet's really out of it, in and out. So I have been like paying attention to the big event stuff. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it just everybody looks frozen. And one of my friends is like part of their board, and I know that we have groups of 5, and we can like have however many groups of 5 that we want, and then we just have to pick a leader for each group, be it as like the president to like chairs or something, or it could just be anybody, and that's how they're gonna have it set up. I think they're trying to fix the way we sign in, because it is a little difficult, and so they've been working on that.
Sweet. Luckily, that event is not until April, so we got a little bit of time to prepare for that and get the legislation done and passed.
Oh, and just to add to that information, even though the event is in April, sign up ends sometime in March. I'm not quite sure of the date, but I'm sure that there's quite a number of information out there on social media. So if you check like the big event social media pages, you'll be able to get the exact date. But time runs really fast. It's already February, so if we're planning to do anything,
Yeah, so even though the event is in April, they do usually cut off registration around spring break. So it might be before spring break, it might be after spring break. But on the low, nobody really knows this, but I was a lead team member for the big event. So you can sign up until the day of. We just do not advertise that because people will wait last minute if they can. But we're not going to do that. We are going to hit the deadline. So I'm just saying that if for some reason something happens and you miss the deadline, but you want to do it, it's never too late. And don't tell anybody in the big event that I am broadcasting that, and you did not hear it from me.
I'm going to tell everybody.
No, this stays in SGA. Any more announcements?
I believe Dr. Smith had to say something else.
Oh, Dr. Smith?
Are y'all familiar with Brother Jed? He'll be on campus next week. And I was just going to remind everybody that we do have free speech policies on campus. So if you get any tweets that are directed towards you, they are not necessarily known to have a positive influence on campus. So keep that in mind. We do have a free speech policy on campus.
Alrighty, any more announcements?
Going off of what Dr. Holly said, just because we knew that was happening, I will say that the LGBTQ plus Equality Caucus, we are hosting a speech, like we're gonna have Title IX and an attorney here in Nacogdoches come and talk about if First Amendment rights, what's protected and what's not, if y'all would like to attend.
Jackie, when will you let us know that information when it is?
Yes, I will text it in the group chat.
Thank you.
They are bringing Sean Hightower. Yes. But Angelica, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I do have a question. I don't follow like everyone like on SGA. So when we advertise like events, how do we get those points?
So for pubbing our events, you can I'll send all the information for our page. So on Instagram and on Twitter, it's just SFA_SGA. All you have to do is, retweet them, like them. And if you want to put on your story, on your personal story, screenshot it, send it to our vice president, and that's how you gain those points. But you brought up a good thing that, a lot of us don't follow each other. So maybe after this, how about we all drop our Twitter and Instagram handles? So that way we can, get the.
Yes. I believe that we should all follow each other. But if you for sure want me to see your points, see your retweets and get those points, I do suggest you screenshot that and send it to me and group me. Just recently, Chris messaged me, was like, oh, these people have retweeted us. And it was, of course, some SGA members. And I did add those points, but that could have easily been missed. So if you want your points to count, for sure, because again, I don't follow everybody. I'm not on Instagram all day. I'm not, on Twitter all day. So screenshot it on your story that you retweeted it, whatever you did to shout us out, and send that to me in the group meet.
Are there any more announcements? If there are no more announcements, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Oh no, who said that?
I.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor for adjournment. Is there a second?
I do.
You can't second the motion that you just made.
I second the motion.
Oh no,
Right.
somebody else made it.
Oh, I'm a mess. I could not hear you.
Cayenne motioned. Cayenne motioned.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor by Senator Alexander to adjourn. It is seconded by Senator Stevens. All in favor, type yes. All opposed, type no. And if there are any abstentions, say so in the chat. I'm telling you, too many of y'all are going to mess around one day and we will stay in this meeting. All right, the ruling of the chair is that the yeses have it and this meeting is adjourned. Congratulations to our bill that was passed and our amendment that was passed, and Chris on writing his executive orders that went unopposed by the Senate. So congratulations on all of those. This is a great meeting.